Have you ever found yourself lying awake at night with a strange hollowness in your chest? A heavy silence that no noise can fill? You're not alone. In today's fast-paced, hyper-connected world, more and more people are experiencing a deep internal emptiness, a sense that something is missing, though they can't quite name what it is. If you felt this way, it's not because you're weak or broken. It's because your soul is trying to communicate with you, and you've finally become quiet enough to hear it. We live in a world that's constantly telling us how to be happy, buy more, look better, work harder, stay busy. Our culture is obsessed with achievement and image, rewarding productivity while ignoring emotional and spiritual well-being. As Carl Jung noted, people will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own souls. So we spend years chasing career goals, collecting material possessions, entering and exiting relationships, all in search of some kind of meaning or lasting joy. But despite all our accomplishments, we often find ourselves lying in bed at night feeling a deep, aching void. Why? Because none of these things address the needs of the soul. The soul isn't interested in your resume, your bank account, or your social media following. The soul longs for truth, purpose, and connection. When these are absent, the result is that gnawing emptiness inside, a signal that you're disconnected from your deeper self. Most people are not taught how to care for the soul. So when our inner world begins to deteriorate, we often misinterpret the symptoms, such as chronic boredom or restlessness, constant self-doubt or guilt, emotional numbness, a sense that life lacks meaning, feeling like an outsider, even around friends or family. Instead of looking inward, we look for distractions, scrolling endlessly, binge-watching shows, or drowning in work. But distractions only silence the symptom, not the cause. According to Carl Jung, this emptiness is a sign of soul loss, a disconnection from the authentic self. When the inner voice goes unheard for too long, the soul speaks more loudly. Sometimes through depression. Sometimes through anxiety. Sometimes through a total life collapse. Unlike the mind, the soul doesn't communicate in words. It speaks through emotions, symbols, dreams, and intuition. According to Carl Jung, this emptiness is a sign of soul loss, a disconnection from the authentic self. When the inner voice goes unheard for too long, the soul speaks more loudly. Sometimes through depression. Sometimes through anxiety. Sometimes through a total life collapse. That recurring dream you keep having. Your soul is trying to show you something. That gut feeling that something is wrong, even when everything looks fine. Your soul is trying to protect you. Jung emphasized the importance of listening to these signals. He believed that the path to healing lies in embracing the unconscious, the hidden parts of ourselves we often ignore. The soul is always speaking. The question is, are we listening? So, how do you begin to understand what your soul is trying to tell you? 1. Spend time in silence, turn off the noise. Take time each day to just sit with yourself, no phone, no music, no distractions. This is where the real voice begins to emerge. 2. Journal your inner life, write about your feelings. Not your to-do list. What made you sad today? What brought you peace? What drained your energy? This helps the unconscious become conscious. 3. Pay attention to dreams. Dreams are the soul's stories. Carl Jung often encouraged his patients to record and interpret them. What symbols keep appearing? What themes repeat? 4. Create something. Art, music, poetry, creativity is how the soul breathes. Don't worry about being good. Just create. 5. Seek solitude in nature. Nature strips away the artificial and reconnects us with the natural rhythms of life. Go for walks. Sit under trees. Watch the sky. 6. Engage in shadow work. That shadow is the part of ourselves we reject. But healing comes when we face it. This is deep, emotional work, and it's worth it. Feeling empty isn't a sign of failure. It's a beginning. It's the soul saying, the old ways aren't working. It's time to go deeper. This journey isn't easy. You may have to let go of things that once defined you. You may feel lost for a while. But Jung reminds us, only the paradox comes anywhere near to comprehending the fullness of life. Healing the soul means embracing paradox. You find yourself by losing who you thought you were. You feel most whole after being completely broken. You grow stronger by facing your deepest fears. The emptiness you feel is not a punishment. It's an invitation. Once you've begun to reconnect, the soul will continue to speak. It might nudge you toward a new path. Or it may call you to release something toxic. It may whisper truths that frighten you, but set you free. Carl Jung believed that each person has an inner compass, a self that knows the way. But it requires honesty, courage, and stillness. Jung believed that each person has an inner compass, a self that knows the way. But it requires honesty, courage, and stillness. You don't need to fix everything. You need to listen and respond. Take the course you've been putting off. Call the friend your heart misses. End the relationship that drains you. Begin the practice that grounds you. Tell the truth you've buried for years. Each small act of alignment brings the soul back into balance. That hollow feeling you carry, that ache in the silence, it's not your enemy. It's your soul calling you home. The world doesn't need more polished, perfect, productive machines. It needs more people who are awake, alive, connected to something real. And that starts with you. Sitting in your truth, listening to the whisper beneath the noise, and answering that call with an open heart. Carl Jung once said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." If you feel empty inside, know this, you're not lost. You're on the edge of something sacred. Your soul is speaking. And it's time to listen. Thank you for watching. Hit the like and subscribe button to encourage me to make more videos like this.